Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central here in Kent, Ohio. Coming to you with the real deal. Oh yes, and as you can see, I've been out there working on the railroad, more or less. Trying to do a little cleanup around the house here. Good thing I have my tam o' shanter on. Keep all that dust out my hair. Yeah, what few follicles I got left. But meanwhile, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. You know why we're here. You know what we need to do. Tonight we're going to be featuring a new story, new book. It's called Abraham Hannibal, or Abraham Hannibal and the Raiders of the Sands. The Raiders of the Sands. And you'll find out what that means soon enough. Meanwhile, let's hook you up. No, let's have you hook us up with a like if you're watching on Facebook, a thumbs up if you're watching on the tube, and then go ahead and spread the word to your friends, your family, and distant associates about what we do here at Black Facts twice a day, each and every day, 365 days out of the year. So far, we've only missed one of our appointed dates. We try to make that a rare occurrence. We always like to be on point every time, all the time. So let's do our proverb of the day first. Proverb of the day is: the flood takes him out, and the flood takes him in, and the ebb takes him out. Ebb and flow of the water, right? The flood takes him in, and the ebb takes him out. All right. Now, we're going to start reading our story tonight. And it's a very interesting one at that, about slavery. But instead of it, the enslaved Africans being taken to the west, they are taken to the east and to the north, across the Red Sea. So let's see how this story goes. Let's see how the story goes. I'll read from the back of the book first. I always like to read the back of the book because that'll sum up the whole book, even if we don't get to finish it. My name is Abraham, and my father is a noble lord of Africa. Oh, let me not forget my photos. Almost forgot the gallery shot. Here we go. There you go. Now you can see what the cover of the book looks like. All right, now we're ready. My name is Abraham, and my father is a noble lord of Africa. The emperor of Ethiopia sends brotherly greetings to the king of the Franks. Abraham, the son of an Ethiopian prince, murmurs these words to himself like a magic charm every night of his long and bitter journey into slavery. Whatever happens, he is determined to carry out his mission to the Sun King. Based on fact, this is the amazing story of a boy who endures attacks by elephants and crocodiles, a landslide, the loss of his beloved sister, kidnapping by the terrible raiders of the sands, slavery, and shipwreck. But, as with the story we read earlier, he never gives up. Just like St. Yared. We read about St. Yared the other day. If you didn't catch that story, check the rewind. Everything's on our playlist. The name of our YouTube playlist, the playlist on our YouTube channel, Black Facts, Tubular Black Facts channel, is Tales of Ethiopia. So look under Tales of Ethiopia, and you'll see, I don't know if it's the first one or the second one, but it's one of the early ones. You'll find that we read about this boy who never gives up. And certainly Abraham Hannibal is a boy just like him. Just like him. So let's see, where are we at here? I've only read this book once, but I certainly wouldn't mind reading it again. First chapter in the book is called Stampede. And the time period is set in 1702 to 1703. So we just had a Independence Day celebration for the United States. Well, this story takes place almost more than 70 years before the United States, before the Declaration of Independence is read, and before this country begins to fight the British to become an independent country as opposed to a colony of Britain. Stampede. The boy heard the elephants long before he saw them. The cows he was supposed to be looking after were looking after themselves very well, and his brothers had all disappeared. It was the dead time of the afternoon, and the air was heavy and very hot, but he was wide awake. He crouched in the damp red earth under the old thorn tree on the King's Hill, his white cotton breeches thick with red dust, carefully placing the last stalks of grass on the roof of a tiny hut. The other herd boys sometimes made little cows out of clay, but he'd grown out of those long ago. Buildings were what he liked to make, houses and churches, and sometimes great fantastical castles that fell down before he could finish what was in his mind's eye. There's the cooking hut, he whispered to himself, and this is Father's palace. Here is our hut. I won't do all of the huts. Let's see, church next or wall. He chewed his muddy fingernails and thought. Then he picked up a branch and scraped a rough circle round the little settlement, scooped up a handful of earth and started shaping a yard wall. Then he heard it and felt it. First his cows shifting and mooing uneasily. Then branches crashing and splintering, the shudder of the ground under his bare feet, and the terrible groaning bray of an elephant. In pain, he bolted up out of the shade and looked down around him. From the wild lands of the west came tramping steadily through the scrub 3 dozen or more elephants, cows, a few young bulls, and babies. Elephants here, up in the highlands? He'd never heard of such a thing. He cried out in delight, "Hey, you, what are you doing here?" And then suddenly Abraham saw what the elephants had seen. The fields that edged the town, the delicious young shoots of teff grain and tender seedlings of beans and oil nuts, and just on the other side of the fields lay the first of the rough stone and mud houses of his father's capital, Dibarwa. The herd's leader gave a great bellow. The babies squealed, and the whole troop broke into a heavy, blundering charge towards the crops. They've got to be stopped. They've got to be stopped. I have to stop them. Abraham hardly knew what he had in mind, but he found himself racing down from his little hill and across the meadows to get in ahead of the trampling feet, between them and his town, between the trampling feet and the harvest, between the trampling feet and the little children and the graybeards dozing in the yards. He could hear himself screaming, "This way, this way!" And then he was right in front of them, running half sideways, pulling off his white cotton cloak and flapping it wildly, then grubbing up stones as he ran and flinging them at the herd, willing them towards him and away from his town. He could see that at the head of the crazed army was an old she-elephant, bellowing with pain and fury, her face oozing and puffy where a spear had stuck in her right cheek. Abraham dodged away from the town towards the sheep, red banks of the Mareb River, and the old elephant swerved after him, thundering ever nearer. Obediently, the army wheeled towards the river too. The boy stumbled on and on across the stony soil, gasping fiercely, until suddenly he was falling through space. And we will leave it right there because I think that's a very good place to end. And we'll pick up from there tomorrow. Abraham Hannibal and the Raiders of the, oops, here we go. And the Raiders of the Sands. Abraham Hannibal and the Raiders of the Sands. That is our book for at least for this week, if not for the month. I haven't decided how long how much of that book I'm gonna read to you, but I've mentioned this before. It comes in 2 volumes. The first one is And the Raiders of the Sand, and the second one is, oh man, it's about a power grab, the fight, the struggle for power in the empire of Peter the Great, Tsar Peter the Great, one of the first Russia's first czars. All right. Meanwhile, you know what you need to do. All you little children need to put your little heads on your little pillows, on your little beds, and close those eyes while you wait on that good old sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, you know that it's time for you to rise and shine. Oh, chill in the mind. But until that time, let's keep it real, all inside our head as we try to break off and go to sleep. Hopefully, if you lay there long enough, sleep will come. Meanwhile, as for you adults, you know what we need you to do. Number 1, give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. If you're on the tube, give us a thumbs up. Otherwise, you can contact us at our website, www.blakfacts.org, or you can contact us right through Facebook. So contact us through Facebook or using our voicemail. In the meanwhile, peace out without a doubt. In fact, let's have some peace with a little justice, because anything less will disgust us. And I hate being discussed. Well, I don't mind being discussed. I don't like being disgusted. Let me correct that. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and wave at Michael Hodges over there. How you doing today, Michael? And then we're going to go right into our extra. Extra. Gotta do the extra. There we go.